But I'm going to turn the floor quickly over to Jimmy. Hopefully his connection works well. So a couple things about, first off, let's talk about the girls that are recruited and have committed to Division I schools. Yuri Park, last year she committed to the admissions process at Yale University, which is really, really cool. I know she's excited. She's thrilled. She's obviously been working hard in the classroom to make sure that goes through, which I know she has been. So that's been cool. Literally as of 3, 4, 5 days ago, Abby just committed to Oregon State University, which is really fantastic. We're really excited for her. I know she's going to go do great things there as well, especially super early in this process. Really, really good stuff. And then Hannah Jonick, just as of Sunday, got committed to the University of Rhode Island. So really, really good stuff for Hannah. Here's Jimmy Lundgren. I'm going to give the floor over to him. Just a couple of things on his resume. I know him from my time at Azusa Pacific when I was in school. He was the women's assistant volleyball coach over there. He's got a bunch of other things on his resume, and is currently one of the coaches on our USA team that he sends to the Pan American Games, which is really cool. So I'm going to give the floor quickly over to Jimmy, and then we'll get back to kind of where we were at, and then we're kind of we'll really wrap this up.
Evan, thank you for that. Thank you, parents, for allowing me to have this time. I know your time is precious and valuable, and I'm grateful to be here. It's awesome to see those commitments that Evan mentioned, and some of those girls I think I even worked with a few years ago in club or whatever it might be. So, Evan, thank you for putting that up there on the screen. Very quick overview of my journey, as Evan mentioned. I have over 15 years of college coaching and now international coaching experience. Most recently, collegiately, I was at the University of San Diego, where I helped the team go to 2 Sweet 16s, a Final Four, 2 West Coast Conference championships. I also worked at Point Loma Nazarene University, Division II school, Azusa Pacific, where it was NAI, and then we transitioned to Division II, Cal Baptist, another NAI school. And yes, currently working with Team USA, the senior national team, and we leave Friday to go to Mexico for the Pan American Games that Evan talked about. So the reason why I mentioned that is just to kind of show the scope of the recruiting side of things that I've seen at the collegiate level, from NAI all the way to NCAA Division I. I've also have worked at local clubs here in the San Diego County at Genuine Volleyball and at Wave Volleyball. So I've seen recruiting from that side of the process. So with that vast knowledge and experience, it's one of those things now in my career, I'm excited to help give back, help encourage, help train, help teach, help coach families and athletes through the recruiting process, because this landscape is ever changing. Literally 3 weeks ago, there was a massive recruiting rule change, a roster caps now at the Division I level. And I believe that will trickle down to all sorts of levels. So things are constantly evolving and changing. And I want to be that eye in the sky that, has the pulse on how everything's working for you in the recruiting process. So the way that it simply works, whatever your goals are, if it's to go play Division I at Oregon State, Rhode Island, or Yale, or if it's to stay closer to home and maybe go to a Division II, or you really want to explore the NAI level, I have connections. I have a network that is pretty vast and can help with that process. So simply setting up a time to connect, using my email there, my phone number as well. I'm going to drop it in the chat also. And if you aren't on your phone, you can scan that QR code and see a little bit more about what we do. I also work with beach volleyball athletes as well, having some connections there also. Again, the big thing that I'm trying to do is help navigate this process for you and your family and be there. Sometimes I'm even the person that will say the same thing to your daughter, but for some reason they'll listen to me rather than to you. And as a father with 2 kids, I totally understand that I will tell my daughters, hey, I need you to go pick up your toys. And like, no. And then my sister walks in the room, hey, girls, why don't you pick up the toys? And boom, they do it right away. So sometimes I can be that extra set of ears, that extra voice to help you motivate your kids moving forward in the right direction with recruiting. Again, the recruiting process can be very scary, but I want to be there to help the entire way. So I want to be mindful of your time. There's no right or wrong time. You're not too early, not too late to start the recruiting process. I look forward to coming out to some of your games, and thank you again. Have a great rest of your evening.
Sweet. Thank you, Jimmy. I will certainly send that in the information that you put out here with the PDF and the email and phone number in the next weekly email that we have. So great. I love Jimmy. Jimmy's fantastic. I've known him for a decade now. And he's just a really good dude, and he's willing to help give back to the community. So thank you, Jimmy, for your time. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
Sweet. So with that being said, we're gonna really speed run through the rest of this. I know I've already taken up probably too much of your time, but that's okay. We're gonna make this work this really quick. I think we are now here. Parent involvement. What we really need you guys to be a part of. Just view slideshow, and we are gonna get started kind of on this. All right, parent involvement. This is what you guys need to really know. So, and why you're here. How can you get involved? Okay. There are a few massive ways to get involved. And I know last year, of course, for those of you who were in program last year, Mickey Montatia literally did so much for us. And obviously, it's a huge bummer that she left, or I should say, Ensley graduated and then got a scholarship to go play at Cal State Bakersfield for beach. But with that being said, I really would need some help on just picking up the slack when it comes to a lot of the things like senior night. Obviously, is going to be a big one. The banquet, we'll definitely need help with that. Heather Ratkowitz is her daughter Natalie is still in our program, and she's been kind of gracious enough to do the restaurant fundraisers and then do the kind of banquet stuff. But she's going to need help on the banquet stuff, especially this year. So I'm going to definitely need a lot of help when it comes to this stuff. I may have to take a more hands-on approach this season when it comes to that, which I have no problems doing. But I really, really would like any help appreciated. I want to make we have 7 seniors this year, so I want to make their night as special as possible, just as I did, or just as we did last season and the season before and the season before that. I pride myself and pride our program on having a really good senior night. So we can talk about that. Here's the really the I should say the what would be super helpful. I know a lot of you have full-time jobs. I know a lot of you have a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna talk about restaurant fundraisers. I think I mentioned it a little bit already, but Heather put together 3 restaurant fundraisers, so we're good with that. I may talk to her about adding one more, but we'll see. We have a snack bar that I would like to once again get going. With that being said, basically what you would need to do is make sure that there's 2 parents, or I should say 4 parents working it total. We'll have 2 people working the snack bar and 2 people, or like 1 person working our swag gear kind of sale with that. So I would like somebody to kind of help out with that. And then obviously senior night. I realize this is September. This was from 2 years ago, but our senior night's going to be on Wednesday. In fact, we'll change that real quickly later. Wednesday, October 23rd against Sage Creek. So we're going to need help with that with parents. And then once again, we'll be at the Madeiras Country Club, hopefully again, assuming we can raise the funds for that. Tentatively, I think we're putting that on November 20th. So I'll need to check with that, but that's kind of that. So we have a few. We'd love to have some kind of committee coordinators when it comes to that type of stuff. So again, it would be really awesome if you guys could step up and do that. There's obviously some other size roles that we really need help with. Bronco Challenge was fantastic. We got, I believe, 10 parents to help out with that, which went really well. And I thank each and every one of you for coming and helping out. It made that day a huge success. We have a beach day in a week or so coming, and just having a few of you come and just help set up the food, put it on tables, do all that type of stuff would be really appreciated. And of course, you can watch that. I mentioned that in the weekly email. Signing up to work the snack bar and swag table, which will be really cool. There's 2 shifts. If you're a varsity parent, working the JV freshman game from 4 to about 5:45. Maybe getting there a little earlier, maybe 3:45 to help set up. And then JV freshman parents shift as well after that. So there's a few other things as well. Hosting a sleepover. We're going to try and do that again this year for all 3 of our teams. Helping to supervise team events. We may have another team event or 2 and a senior night volunteer when it comes to that, as well as a banquet volunteer. Heather, did you want to speak on any of this? Or are we good?
No, not really. I mean, I think you cleared it. I mean, Yeah, with the banquet, we're definitely going to need volunteers. There's just so many pieces to it. So, but we can do emails about that later.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're
If
gonna
you want to
try to.
wrap it up. Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to go quickly through all this. So yeah, it's gone a little longer than I would like to, but that's okay. So
Yeah, you're
all
doing
good.
good.
We can. We're gonna. The big thing, right? Up. We'll go back to this one. Everybody can do these things, and that's kind of one of the big things I want to continue to emphasize is making sure you're obviously taking your child to and from matches, tournaments, practices, or at least setting up a ride for them. We're gonna sign up for match day food at least once. Would be really really helpful. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then signing up for tournament day foods and potlucks and all that type of stuff. And of course, supporting in a positive way is really important. So um, there's going to be links. I'm going to send these in another email when it comes to food for either before or during or after matches this season. Varsity, there's going to be 16 games, which is perfect because there are 16 families in our on our varsity team. So it will be perfect. Everybody just signs up once. Okay, that's going to be on a first come first serve basis. JV and novice, everyone should sign up once, but there's not as many spots. With that being said, if somebody signs up, if there's all the spots filled and your name's not on there, I'm sure it would be really helpful if you help pitch in financially or help pick up the food or do something to help out with that. So that will certainly be something. It's really important that the girls do get food. For some of these games, they're there for 3-4 hours. When it comes to the home matches, the JV and freshmen have to work those matches, and it's super super important that they get fed because then they won't get a dinner. And with that, I think it's important that they don't starve and they do a good job doing the lines during the varsity games and they do a good job working the table. And we have a 3-ball rotation that we run, so it's really helpful that they get food. And then obviously with varsity, they play during dinner, and so it's really really helpful that they get fed before each match. So or at least every home match at the very, very least, and even a couple of the road ones too. So that's kind of everything with that. For all the tournaments, when it comes to food, varsity's got a 2-day tournament. I kind of let the first day everybody kind of does what they need to do. It's most of the time on a Friday, and kind of let everybody do their thing. On Saturday, we do kind of do a potluck, which is really really cool. And so basically everybody kind of signs, kind of like what we're doing with the sign up geniuses for the beach day. It's very very similar. So there's that, and then there's the 1-day tournaments for JV and novice that they always play on Saturdays. Same thing again, just like how it looked on the beach day sign up sheet. We're gonna do stuff similar to that. And if you guys have ideas for food or for the potluck, go ahead. I don't make it super fancy. We do like parfaits or we do sandwiches, and it's really really easy to just bring food and contribute something, so that way the girls during lunch can at least there's normally at least an hour or two where they get a chance to eat and eat something, because those days are really long. They go from about 7-8 in the morning until 4 or 5 in the evening. So with that also, I think it's important that we make sure we feed our players, because and feed them as healthy as possible as well. So senior night, we're going to do a potluck again. So again, there'll be more information when it comes to this, but everybody will be encouraged to help pitch in food for that. So that is one way you can help out. Once again, we're going to be doing the snack bar. I kind of gone over that. If you can help, whether pick up food, work the snack bar, all that type of stuff, we would love to use your help. Same thing with Bronco swag. We've got a few extra sweatshirts lying around. We purchased a ton of like "Welcome to the Stable" T-shirts that we want to sell again this year. So yeah, there's that, and there's a way you can kind of help out with that as well. So we'll also be doing a swag gear sale online. I think that's what Bo was trying to mention earlier with the vertical race. I think we're going to do a spirit shop that will be about like a 10-day spirit shop. So we'll do that again this year. I think we did it through BSN, or we've done it once or twice otherwise. So there's a bunch of team program and team bonding we're going to do. We've already gone through the Bronco Challenge. Beach Day was going to be August. It's not the 4th. It's next Monday. It's the 19th, I believe. So we're going to be doing that again. I sent it in the email. We'll need parents to bring food for this event, and again, would love to have a few parents stay and watch the event. It's a fun time. For those of you who did the Bronco Challenge, you can see kind of the bonding that occurs during that with the girls in their mentorship group. So it should be a fun time for all. Starting the week of the 26th, we're going to start doing mentorship Mondays. We were okay on this last year. It was kind of a trial run in terms of trying to figure out exactly what we're doing when it comes to that. But we'll be having mentorship Mondays about every other Monday, which will be really, really cool for the 5 or 6 girls that are in their mentorship groups to come together, talk about life, talk about volleyball, talk about things maybe that are hard to talk about, or maybe the varsity team is going to give those players will give kind of more life lessons and help the girls and encourage them to keep going. Obviously, especially with our freshmen, it's their first time they're on campus. High school can be a daunting thing, and so I really want to continue to encourage that and to build bonds throughout each year in each class. Hopefully in 5 to 10 years you go, hey, I remember you. You were in my mentorship group, 5-10 years ago, which is really, really cool. So, and we'll also be doing fun challenges, and the winner will be getting a nice trophy at the end, and maybe there'll be a prize as well with that. So that will be kind of cool. I'm excited for it. For program bonding, again, we've done an escape room the last couple years. I've actually really enjoyed it, and the girls have had to work together, and we've done that with teams, which has been really, really cool. A couple people have come up with other ideas, maybe a laser tag or something like that. I'm still finalizing these ideas. I want to kind of get this done in September, which would be really, really cool, so the teams can bond, they can get close, and it's a great way, to bond as a team. So we're gonna be looking into that in September. And then we also have done a team sleepover. Would love to do this again. This is actually one I think the girls always mention the sleepover. In our exit interviews at the end of the season, they always mention the sleepover. Like, I love the sleepover. It was the best night of the year. And so it's really cool to get all the girls in one house. So again, we do need someone on each of the 3 teams to offer up their home, or at least offer up their home for a little part of it. It doesn't even have to be a sleepover. A couple years ago, I believe our freshman team, they just went out as a team, and then that was that. So just something to do as a team. We want to foster community. We want to foster that type of stuff. So we're doing the team dinners. We've talked about that. We may do a Halloween practice, and we may even go see a couple alumni play. Those are 2 alumni that are kind of near the area. We're going to look towards that and look at that and see if there's any dates that would work for that. So picture day, we still to be determined. I would like to do a media day with varsity. We're still looking into all that type of stuff as well. Senior night, again, I've kind of talked about, and we definitely need volunteers. More information will come on that. Again, Heather's kind of been doing the banquet, so we'll get more information on that. I do want to go kind of in depth on this. So obviously, Bo's talked about fundraising with Vertical Race. The fundraising, I'm going to just share this with all of you in an email at some point. But this is kind of our fundraising. These are the cost of everything. I know a lot of you play, or have daughters that play club volleyball, and that is very expensive. This is not as expensive, but it does still cost a ton of money to run a volleyball program. And I try to run the very best volleyball program I can for the players. So, coach's stipend, and I'm not kidding, it's about $3,000 per coach. That's how much we get for the 3 months of work we put in every single day for 2 to 4, even 6 hours some days. And it's tough. So, but that's how much it costs to pay us. There's some tournament fees that I always like to do 3 for each team. So there's tournament fees there. Uniforms, we got new varsity uniforms, and everybody kind of try to trickle down to each of the teams. So we got new uniforms this year. The banquet costs about $3,000 each year. It costs money to buy gear like shirts, spandex. We got pretty much 50 new volleyballs for about $2,500. So that was really, really great. Someone did make a donation, and again, I thank them. I've probably thanked them like 5 times already, but those finally came in, and we were able to. Now we actually have brand new volleyballs, which is really, really cool. Equipment, I've talked about a new net. There's a few things we need. Even using the gym during the camp costs money. We have bus fees for the JV freshman team. We use Huddle, which is really, really great. It's a great technology for our varsity team to kind of scout teams and look at film and kind of see what we're doing well, what we need to improve on, which is really, really cool. But that costs money as well. End of the year banquet decoration and awards. Again, that's about $1,000. Excuse me. Senior night cost about, I think it was like $800 last year. That was for 5 seniors. We have 7 seniors this year, so it's going to be around $1,000. And then photos, and we have a trainer's fee as well with that. So with all that money, I've done the relative math on it. and it's actually about $35,000 with all the coaches' stipends, with everything with that. It's a lot of money. So we have to fundraise. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We did raise a good amount of money through our summer camps, which is really, really great. In fact, we set a record, which is fantastic. And out of the 3 years we've done summer camps, this has been the most successful in terms of funds raised, which is really, really great. And I thank you guys all if you were a part of our camps. I know freshmen, there was 2 camps, and a lot of them came to both, which is really, really great. And it was really awesome seeing them kind of grow even from the first camp to the second camp. But we did that. Again, we've made about $4,000 total over the last 2 seasons with our snack bar and Bronco swag. We've had restaurant fundraisers where we've raised about $2,000 over the last couple years with that. Vertical raise, again, we're going to be doing that again this season. We raised last year in Snap Raise about $14,000, which is really, really cool. I think it was about a net of about $10,000, $11,000, which was good. But yeah, so with that being said, per person, it's about $730 to run an entire program. I'm only asking for $300. I know times can be, it's difficult. I know, with inflation, things have been tough for a lot of families. But if you could even give us, half of that, $300 would obviously be really, really appreciated. A few families have donated more. And again, I want to say thank you to those families, but that is certainly not the expectation. Please, I am requesting $300 from each family, which would be really, really helpful. And so I know I hate asking for money. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I know it is something that is necessary, and it's something that I, would like to do to continue to run a good program and make this the best experience for the players. It's all about them. I do what I do not for the money, because trust me, if I did it for the money, I'd be doing something else. But I do it for the players. I love the players. The girls are fantastic. I'm really blessed to be at an awesome school like Rancho Bernardo and coaching there. So anyway, I think that's kind of everything. We'll kind of summarize it. This is stuff we've already gone through. There are restaurant fundraisers, and in fact, one is coming up on the 26th. That is, we are going. It used to be Grub, but it's now the Stand. We're going to be doing a restaurant fundraiser. So if you guys go to the restaurant or go to the Stand that day, and you mentioned RB Girls Volleyball, 20% of the funds that you're paying for your food and whatnot goes to our program. So would love it if you guys came out for that. We also have the kebab shop and Chipotle as well this season. So those are kind of our restaurant fundraisers. And again, shout out to Heather for putting those together. So kind of been through all this, obviously. Okay, just some random other stuff. Again, we film our matches. Sam Park's been doing it the last 3 years pretty much. And with that being said, I don't know if he's doing it this year. I've actually not talked to him yet, but I'm gonna assume he is, but I don't know for sure. So I'll talk to him on the side. He films all our matches and then puts it into a nice YouTube. He puts it in a nice YouTube playlist at the end of the season. So there are times I watch matches from last year, the good ones, of course, and I watch them, and it's really, really great. So there's that. We need announcers. Kathy Hill, which is, I believe, Abby's grandmother, has been doing the announcing the last couple of years. Again, I'm not sure if she's down to do it, but again, we would love to have her. I've already mentioned the parks, but if there's somebody that's a JV parent or a freshman parent that wants to film the matches, that would be really cool. And it's really awesome to just see the progression. Like, you see them play in the scrimmage, or you'll see them play in the scrimmage or the first or second match of the season, and then you'll see them at the end. You're like, that's a completely different team. And so it's always cool to see the growth. Also, we watch film. We do a good job of watching film as a program. So here's the kind of summary of everything. I'm not going to go fully through it, but I think we have a great coaching staff. All that stuff you can read it. Again, all those expectations are there. We're getting charged for matches. There's our opponents. All the game times are 4:30 and 6 this season. Practice 4 to 6 for freshman JV. Varsity is 5:30 to 7:30. There's senior night. For the donation checks, I don't think I mentioned this, but please make it out to the RBHS Foundation and the memo line, write Girls Volleyball, because if you don't write anything in the memo line, it just goes to the general fund of the RBHS Foundation. So please put Girls Volleyball in the memo line. Still determining the day for pictures. We're doing vertical race this year. We've talked about communication and whatnot. I would like for you guys to sign the parent expectation sheet. I'm going to send that in the email. and then continue just supporting your daughter any way possible. Transportation sheets. We need volunteers for beach day. At this point, I think we've kind of covered it all. Snack bar, vertical raise, restaurant days. Are there any questions? I went for just over an hour, which I think, given everything that was, I think we did the best we could in getting this at an hour. So, are there any questions? Yeah, Heather.
I was just gonna say, make sure you send out the slideshow for everybody to see it on their own time, since we can peruse through the last part.
Yes, I will make sure. I will definitely make sure to send that out.
Right.
And yeah, I'll definitely, trust me. I always send it out to everybody just so that way they can look at it, they can peruse it, they can see kind of exactly what they can do to help out. I'm still constructing a parent roles document as well, just so that way you guys can kind of see it all on one document. Hey, how can I help? How can I support? What can I do to make this program the best it can be? Because we're going to do, myself, Coach Troy, Coach Nick, Coach Dylan, we're going to do the best we can to make it the best possible program on the court. But I also want to make it a really strong program off the court when it comes to, obviously, we've talked about the character and the attitudes and the work ethic and all that type of stuff. But also when it comes to the fun stuff, the program bonding, the team bonding, and all that type of stuff. So are there any other questions? I'm going to stop sharing actually my screen so that way I can kind of see all the chat, because I know there's a few people in the chat that did it. Becky, is that an idea? Just like a car wash or garage sale? That's something we can definitely look into for sure. Do you have anything to add, or any ideas, or what are your thoughts?
No, it's just an idea. We used to do that when I played back in the day. I don't know if it's too old school to do now, but just different ideas that the girls can still do things together and raise money for the program.
Yeah, I'll have to look into kind of exactly what we could do for that. I actually think that's a really good idea. I know a lot of other programs do car washes or garage sales or something of to that effect. Something I could look into. Let me write a note of that. Take a note of that. I'm gonna just use this piece of paper. So yeah,
I can look up different ideas of things that people do and just kind of share ideas.
Those are great ideas. I will definitely make a note of that and see if I can look into something like that. That could even be a fun kind of program, team bonding kind of day. I try to, at least give the girls a few weekends off, because a lot of them will play, and there's 3 tournaments, so there's 3 weekends where they're busy, and then there's a day or 2 or whatever where we're doing program bonding or team bonding at the very least. So, but I would love to even add that. I can look into that. That's a great idea. So we'll look into a car wash or something along those lines. So, anything else? Any other questions? Teresa, I did see your message on the restaurant fundraising dates again. I will certainly send that. There's the 3 dates. I think you saw them, but we'll send those in the they'll be on the Google Calendar too. So, is there anybody else have any questions? Any other questions? Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedules. We're just over an hour, unfortunately. I did everything I could, but I appreciate you guys' time. Again, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to send me an email. Obviously, come talk to me. I'm not a stranger. So if you see me and you want to talk to me, by all means, come and talk to me. Would love to chat and whatnot. So thank you guys all so much. I appreciate it. You guys are
Thanks, guys.
best, of course, you guys. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.